Hey everyone, today we're going to do a deep dive on InterServer, a web hosting provider that makes some pretty big promises, especially when it comes to value. We're going to dig into the performance, break down the real cost, and cover the drawbacks you absolutely need to know about before you decide if it's the right home for your website. But first, let me ask you something. Does your current website just feel sluggish? Do you ever find your host goes down at the absolute worst possible moments? And are you kind of dreading that next renewal bill because you just know the price is about to jump way up? If any of that sounds familiar, you are definitely not alone. These are the exact headaches that send people out there looking for a better alternative. And today, we're going to find out if InterServer is actually that solution. So let's get right into it and properly meet the company that might just solve these problems. InterServer. Okay, so InterServer has been around for a while, since 1999 actually. They're a US-based host and they're really known for two main things, giving you some seriously solid performance for a budget price and making a promise that is almost unheard of in the hosting world, a lifetime price lock guarantee. And yeah, we're definitely going to talk more about that later. So who is this really for? Well, InterServer isn't trying to be one of those super flashy premium hosts. It's aimed right at people who are conscious of their budget, beginners, bloggers, small businesses. You get the idea. It's also a fantastic pick for developers who need an affordable virtual private server or VPS. At its core, it's for anyone who cares more about raw performance than a super slick, polished interface. All right, let's talk performance, because honestly, this is where InterServer really starts to shine. We're not just going to talk about it, we're going to look at some hard data and see how it actually holds up. First things first, reliability. InterServer gives you a 99.9% uptime guarantee. And guess what? Real world tests totally back this up. One pretty long 9-month study found only 69 minutes of total downtime. Let me say that again, 69 minutes over 9 months. For a host in this price range, that is exceptionally good. And then there's speed. Wow. In a head-to-head test against similar plans from some really popular competitors, a website on InterServer fully loaded in just 1.5 seconds. I mean, look at that. It's significantly faster than both Hostinger and Bluehost. That kind of performance really does punch way above its weight class. Now, this speed doesn't just happen by accident. It's all about the tech they're using. They run on fast, light-speed web servers, give you SSD storage on every single plan, and, this is a big one, they make a point of not cramming too many customers onto one server. They also give you a pretty generous process limit of 30 per second, which basically means your site can handle more visitors at once without slowing to a crawl. But of course, no host is perfect, and for this to be a truly honest review, we have to talk about the downsides. So let's be totally clear about the trade-offs you're making if you go with InterServer. The single biggest, most inconsistent thing with InterServer is their customer support. They promise help 24/7, through all the usual channels. But when you look at real user reviews, well, they tell two completely different stories. On one hand, you have users who absolutely rave about the support. Some even describe it as feeling like a partnership, where the technicians are super helpful and efficient, and they work with you to solve the problem. But then you have the other side of the coin. Some users talk about really frustrating experiences where complex problems just get bounced around between different support agents, causing these long delays until it finally gets escalated to a senior tech. So yeah, the support can either be a huge plus or, frankly, a major headache. And beyond support, there are a few other trade-offs you just have to know about. The user interface works, but it feels pretty dated, and it can be a little confusing if you're a total beginner. Also, all their data centers are in the US, which is perfect if your audience is in the US, but maybe not ideal for a global website. And finally, unlike a lot of their competitors, they don't throw in a free domain name. So when you weigh the amazing performance against some of these very real drawbacks, how do you actually decide? Let's break down the final verdict and see if InterServer is right for you. This chart really spells it out, doesn't it? It's a classic trade-off. With InterServer, you're giving up things like a modern UI, data centers all over the world, and a free domain. But in exchange, you're getting that fantastic speed, rock-solid reliability, good security, and that incredibly rare locked-in price. And that right there brings us to what I think is the absolute game changer, the price lock guarantee. The price you pay when you sign up is the price you will pay at renewal for the entire life of your account. In an industry that is famous for jacking up renewal prices, this is a massive, massive deal. Now, let's be super clear on how that works so there are no surprises. You get a really low introductory price. Right now, it's just $250 a month. When it's time to renew, yes, the price does go up to their standard rate, which is about $7 a month. But, and this is the most important part, that $7 price is then locked in forever. It will not go up on you again. So, what's the next step from here? Here's our final recommendation. If you're a blogger, you run a small business, or you just need a great portfolio site, and your main priorities are raw speed and a predictable low price, then InterServer is an absolutely incredible value. If that sounds like you, then getting started is super easy. Just click the link down in the description, use our discount code, and you can actually test drive their hosting for your first month for just 1 cent. Yeah, 1 penny. It's a fantastic, almost zero risk way to see that performance for yourself. All right, that wraps up our honest look at InterServer. But now we really want to hear from you. What's been your absolute worst web hosting experience? Go ahead and share it in the comments below. Let's chat about it.